If you thought Grounded was done growing, think again, because the backyard was just the beginning. Introducing Grounded 2. Obsidian's bold new sequel dropping July 29th, 2025 in game preview and early access. And this time, you're not just crawling through grass, you're exploring the entire neighborhood park.
I told you, you can't run from me, you foul beast! No! With new flexible legs, the yoke girth action figure can ride anything!
Breaking news. There's been an explosion at Brook Hollow Park. Chaos descended on a ceremony commemorating the 2-year anniversary of when 4 teenagers were miniaturized against their will and left to fight for their survival in the backyard of a deranged scientist. Formerly evil company Omni-Tool Practical Technologies was set to dedicate a statue of the 4 teenagers, fast food science robot Burgle, and Dr. Tully when an explosion erupted. Dr. Tully and the teenagers' current whereabouts are also unknown.
Built by Obsidian in collaboration with Eidos-Montréal, Grounded 2 takes everything we loved from the first game and blows it up, figuratively, and maybe literally. We're talking bigger bugs, smarter AI, brand new biomes, and one of the wildest additions yet, rideable insect mounts. Yeah, you can hop on a red ant to gather materials, or charge into battle on the back of an orb weaver. And don't worry if spiders aren't your thing, friendly spider mode is still a thing, and it's even better now. Stick around because we're diving into everything you need to know, what's new, what's returning, and why Grounded 2 could be the biggest co-op survival game of the summer. So, why make a full sequel instead of just updating the original? According to Obsidian, Grounded 1 hit its limit. They literally couldn't add big features like insect mounts because of engine and hardware constraints, especially on the old Xbox One. They were just out of room. With Grounded 2, they've moved to Unreal Engine 5, built a bigger world, and overhauled Transversal to fit all the new systems. It's a major upgrade, and that's what made a sequel the right move. The game's also being co-developed with Eidos-Montréal. You might know them from Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy. They actually helped shape the story and pick the new villains. That partnership sounds super promising. Grounded 2 launches in early access on July 29th, 2025 for Xbox and PC, and yep, it's coming to Game Pass on day 1. No word yet on PlayStation or Switch, but the devs haven't ruled it out down the line. Grounded 2 takes place in 1992, 2 years after the events of the first game. The same 4 kids are back, only now they're in high school, and once again they find themselves shrunken down to bug size. This time, it all kicks off during a ceremony honoring the 2-year anniversary of the original incident, and of course something explodes. Classic. But instead of being stuck in someone's backyard, now we're exploring Brook Hollow Park. A much bigger, more dangerous environment filled with new biomes, new bugs, and way more secrets to uncover. If you didn't play the first Grounded, here's a quick recap. The teens were shrunk by a machine called the Spacer, built by Dr. Wendell Tully. While trying to survive the wild backyard, they learned that a shady megacorp called Omni-Tool was behind their disappearance, and they were using kids for experiments involving shrinking tech. Totally normal, right? Well, Omni-Tool's back at it in Grounded 2, and they're still just as sketchy. As you explore the park, fighting bugs, dodging hazards, and even riding insect mounts, you'll uncover more of the mystery behind what they're up to now. From a creepy anthill to an overturned ice cream cart turned frozen biome, the world is bigger, weirder, and more dangerous than ever. Grounded 2 is bringing a bunch of new stuff, but for those of us who played the original, there's a lot of stuff that still feels familiar, and honestly, that's part of the charm. A bunch of the bugs from the first game are back. In the trailer and dev deep dives, we can see soldier ants, worker ants, orb weavers, wolf spiders, and those little spiderlings. And yes, our favorite pet bugs are still around too. Weevils, gnats, aphids, even the ladybugs and those big clumsy bees are sticking with us. Of course, some of the more annoying bugs made it in too. We've got larvae, fireflies, mosquitoes, stink bugs, and bombardier beetles, so be ready to dodge those again. Oh, and the crow is back, still yelling at us from above. Thanks for that, buddy. Most of the resources seem pretty similar, and a lot of the familiar areas are back, like grasslands, a pond, a charcoal grill, and even another picnic table. They've definitely reworked the map, but it looks like they're carrying over the best parts. There's at least one brand new biome too, but I'll get into that in the next section. The 4 original kids are still the main characters, but they're in high school now, so they've got a bit more edge to them. And it looks like Omni-Tool Labs is still the big bad. The buildings, the logos, the creepy science vibes, they're all still here. So yeah, Grounded 2 is shaping up to be a bigger, more refined version of what we loved. It's familiar, but fresh. The only major thing missing so far? Zip lines. But don't worry, they've already promised those are coming back. Eventually.
What we're doing with Grounded 2 is we're actually keeping zip lines held back so we can see how players engage with buggies, and then we can tweak zip lines to bring them back over time to really complement that buggy experience and make exploring the park far more fun.
Alright, let's get into what's new, because Grounded 2 isn't just a reskin of the first game. There are some major updates. First up, mounts. Yep, you can now ride bugs. These aren't just for fun. Obsidian calls them buggies, and they totally change how you move through the world.
Our mounts, we call them buggies, have an entire suite of moves and have their own special abilities and attacks. The Red Ant Soldier can enlist up to 2 Red Ant workers to follow you around and help you out. If you get into combat and you don't want to fight while you're saddled on your buggy, you can jump off and they'll fight right alongside you and provide support. The Orb Weaver buggies are a little less useful when it comes to general utility, like building a base or harvesting, but they're awesome when it comes to combat. Sure, their defenses aren't super strong, but they're heavy hitters. They're also super fast, and they have some great special abilities, like a scream that allows them to stun lesser-powered insects, and the ability to shoot webs and entangle other creatures. So the Orb Weavers won't be your base-building buggy. You should use the Red Ant Soldier for that. But they're super fun for exploration and combat. Red Ant Soldiers and Orb Weaver Spiders will be available at game preview launch. There will be others in the future, but those are the 2 we're starting with.
Next, there's the Omni-Tool. This thing is a game changer. Instead of juggling 4 different tools, you've now got one modular gadget that can chop, dig, hammer, whatever you need. It's basically your hammer, axe, shovel, and wrench all rolled into one. It clears up inventory space and makes surviving way less clunky. I'm really curious how upgrades will work with it, but this already feels like a huge quality of life win. But the Omni-Tool isn't the only new trick up your sleeve. Grounded 2 is packing in a ton of fresh content. We've got a lot of new bugs making their debut. From what we've seen in the trailer and Deb deep dive videos, there's a butterfly fluttering around, a scorpion, which looks absolutely terrifying, a caterpillar, a praying mantis, and even snails and cockroaches. And yep, those cockroaches reportedly live inside a biohazard-themed anthill. Sounds cozy.
We have one anthill that's actually somebody decided to bury a bunch of toxic stuff in the park. And so there's all these toxic chemicals underground. The environment looks very cool and very spooky with all of these sort of chemical pools. And of course, nothing can live down there except for one type of insect, the cockroach.
There's also a new armor system, new passive and active mutations to play around with, and a bunch of new combat tools, including what looks like a dash attack.
We've also added dashing as a new way to both get out of danger quickly or jump in for a quick attack.
Oh, and this part's not confirmed yet, but if you look closely at the footage, I swear I saw auto turrets. So yeah, we might be going full tower defense now. And arachnophobes, rejoice. Grounded 2 is expanding its spider safe mode in the best way possible. Now, instead of terrifying nightmares with 8 legs, spiders can appear as goofy balloon animals with googly eyes and everything. Honestly, it might just be the funniest feature in the game, and way less creepy than whatever that floating blob was in the original. And just like the first game, solo play is still fully supported, but Grounded 2 really shines with up to 4-player co-op, so whether you're surviving alone or with your crew, the park is ready. So how does Grounded 2 stack up to the original? Let's break it down. The first game dropped us into a single backyard, but Grounded 2 takes that concept and blows it wide open. We're now exploring a massive park with multiple zones, verticality, and a lot more danger. I mean, just the tutorial area is as big as the backyard.
The park overall is about 3 times the size of the backyard.
The story picks up just 2 years later with the same crew, just older, maybe a little wiser, but still tiny and still dealing with the shady antics of Omni-Tool Labs.
They're a couple years older, which means they've gone through a bit more high school, a bit more mature.
Traversal, or how you get around, has also had a big glow up. In Grounded, we were stuck walking or gliding around or using zip lines. In Grounded 2, you get mounts, rideable red ants and spiders that change how you travel and even how you fight. Tools are simplified too. Instead of juggling an axe, shovel, and hammer, the new Omni-Tool does it all. Less clutter, more survival. The creepy crawlers are back too, but with an improved arachnophobia mode that turns spiders into balloon animals. It's goofy, but honestly, kinda brilliant. At its core, gameplay loop is still about survival, crafting, and exploration, but everything's been upgraded. More depth, more systems, more world to play in. And yep, co-op is still here, up to 4 players. Now refined with feedback from millions of players.
One of our favorite parts of the first game was watching the community uncover clues and spin up theories. This time around, we're leaning even more into that, and we'll be keeping a close eye on what our players discover and how they interpret it. Because you never know what might inspire us as development moves forward.
Visually, it keeps that same stylized look, but with better lighting and more detailed environments, and best of all, it hits early access on July 29th, 2025 on Steam, Xbox, and Game Pass. The original Grounded pulled in over 20 million players, and Obsidian listened. Every update, every bug fix, every weird little mechanic that fans loved or hated helped shape where this sequel is going. Grounded 2 isn't just a bigger game, it's a smarter one. The devs have tightened the mechanics, smoothed out progression, and built a world that's way more fun to explore. And because it's launching in early access, your feedback actually matters. You're not just playing the game, you're helping shape it. So if you loved the first game, or just want to ride a giant spider through a haunted anthill, now's the perfect time to dive back in. If you made it this far, thank you. Subscribing is totally free and it helps this channel more than you know. But if you'd like to go the extra mile and help me keep making these videos while scoring some exclusive perks for yourself, you can become a YouTube member. That's where the real bosses are. I appreciate each and every one of you, even if all you did was watch this video. Seriously, it means the world. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Until then, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.